Hello everybody, AOG Gaming here, back with another video on the finals. Do apologize for the little audio thing. I see it still happens. There's like this fucking audio like corrupted for a second, and then I switched something in the game and then it just fixes. It happened in my last video, it keeps happening. I'm not going to be able to fix it. I just don't know what's going on anymore. Anyway, we are here to talk about why this game is not good for the average player base right now. I would say for people who have played FPSs, who know what FPSs are, at least agent FPSs, and just in general teamwork when it comes to FPSs, you will know how to play this game. Yes, there are some things that are different, like the cash out rules and stuff, but once you learn that, you will probably have a fine time in this game because your aim is probably not that bad, and you're having fun. Now, if you're new to FPSs or you're new to this game, and just like the teamwork that is involved in this game in general, it's a lot fucking harder to play the game. Now, the one reason for that being is that they nerfed the fucking light and heavy class to the point where medium is literally the only thing you should be picking for competitive gameplay. Why the fuck would you go with anything else? Maybe you have one heavy on your team. Maybe one person goes heavy. Other than that, literally the meta team right now is triple medium. And that's the problem, right? Embark literally has no fucking idea what they're doing with this game. They have no fucking clue. And it shows. Because, again, last season they ended up screwing up the entire player base by forcing us to play terminal attack in order to get the Ruby AK. That upset a lot of people, and it still has a lot of people upset because the Emerald AK, or sorry, the Ruby AK is probably is the rarest skin, but it's one of the skins that people want, for sure. The problem with that is that Embark pretty much made it only for people who are the greatest sweats on the planet, because nobody but those people played Terminal Attack. Because again, Terminal Attack is, people who played Terminal Attack were people who came from CSGO, Call of Duty, because again, Search and Destroy, Valorant, like these game modes already exist in those games, and they've been around for a while. So when you released that, all you did was cater to the top Twitch streamers, YouTubers, whatever, are playing this game. And you made it worse for the average player base because now everyone was pretty much not able to enjoy the game because there was a group of 300 people who pretty much basically have aimbot at this point. You can pretty much call it aimbot if they're not missing a single shot. It's not an actual aimbot. They probably have learned to recoil down and they have no life, but hey, that's what you get for playing this game 6 to 8 hours a day, right? So there are a few other things that I do have to mention. This game is not for average players. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why the player base tanked in the beginning and just in general. Why didn't they come back? It's hard to learn this as somebody who has not played agent games. I can admit that. Because this game is very much based around agent team play. I know people are going to say, oh no, okay. Lights have a certain playstyle, and mediums have a certain playstyle, heavies have a certain playstyle. Yes, every class has its own weapon, they have their own gadgets and utility, and their own abilities. So they all play very differently. Yes, there's like subcategories within them. But the main point is they all play very differently, and the way you play them with your team comp is very different. How you play with 3 lights is different than how you play with 2 lights in the medium. How you play with a heavy and 2 lights is very different than how you play with 2 heavies and a medium. Just the different combinations that you have can completely change how you play. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have as average players. Because again, I am good at the game in terms of I know how to play the game. I'm an objective based player. I won't go for kills unless we are guaranteed first place. After that, screw it. We'll have fun with the game. You know, like if there's a cash out and 3 people are fighting for it, go have fun, right? Don't care if you get wiped. That's how the World Tour works because you don't get the cash penalty. Now, if you don't know how to play around your team and you aren't able to guarantee first place, what ends up happening is you having a very frustrating time. And I will say, it is very hard for average players to play lights class and heavy class. Here are the reasons for that. Lights, you pretty much die to fucking everything. They have made the medium class with the shotgun one tap you. Yes, you have to do the melee. Who gives a shit? People just bind it to one of their controller mouse buttons so they can instantly click it as soon as they land the shot. It is ridiculous that you can one-shot a light. There should never be a game where an agent class you can one-shot simply because they have low health. Like, it just does not make sense to me that they can do that. They use 1 bullet of their ammo. They still have 5 shots left. You know what that means? They can one-tap another light, and then they can kill a whole medium. And even miss a shot. Because a medium is 2-tap as well. It's just like, I'm so confused on what they think balancing is, because they obviously have no fucking clue what it is. Every single season I have played this game, either a different class or a specific set of weapons are meta. That's not balancing. And the problem is that they keep nerfing shit to the ground, or they keep releasing broken stuff, or the third one, they keep buffing stuff that doesn't need buffs. It's just like, why? Why are you messing with the game balance in a way that isn't helpful to balance the game, but rather is just making it less balanced? Like Embark. This is way less balanced than I remember. This is so less balanced. It is so skewed towards the heavy and the medium. For average players, it is ridiculous. Once you get the higher elo, of course, lights and mediums become more meta, in my opinion. Because if you're very good at playing light, you can actually destroy people. This M11 is disgusting. I've been getting to the finals pretty recently, and it's just absolutely gross. The problem is that I keep getting a lot of teammates that don't know what they're doing. Like, we have one teammate who's not with us, even though we're about to get this cash out, or we're about to defend it. Like, there's one person on the enemy team, but we're both low, and we're about to reload. If we just had one more teammate, we probably could have wiped him out easier. What is our teammate doing? 3 feet up his ass at the other point, saying he did the math, even though we've already done the math and we realize we take this and we're just ahead. The problem was that he went over there and fed them a kill, so they had $500 ahead. That guy's an idiot. There's also, like, people, like, someone pushes, or 2 people push, and then the last person or the last 2 people just kind of sit there and wait. Especially when somebody has a mic and they're saying, oh, they're low, or he's 1, and you don't push. You just sit there, waiting. So the problem with also the average player base is a lot of them don't have their mics on. So my advice to you is, if one of your teammates is getting a lot of kills, a lot of damage, try and push with them, because it means that they are good at pushing. The problem is that they don't have the teammates to push with them. So if you can do that, I feel like you'll have a lot better of an average player playing experience in general. As far as new players go, you gotta practice. I am telling you, it took me 3 months to get good at this game, and it's been out for 10 months. So, sorry, not good. It took me 3 months to learn how to play the game properly in terms of me actually playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, right? And for those 3 months, I didn't play a lot, to be fair. Also, I didn't play until February, so technically for half the time, for 6 months for half the time that I've been playing this game, the first half of it, I learned how to play the game. And yes, you need to understand how to play the game. It's not just about learning when to move and how to move, it's learning when to make a decision. Because literally a couple of seconds of stalling could be the difference between one of your teammates getting instantly wiped and killed by the enemy team, or them just barely being able to escape an enemy when you could have been there to help them. But then the enemy escapes at the last second, just right when you get there, so now you're just stuck with the body and an enemy somewhere nearby, right? So there is the decision making that it has to be very rapid in this game, and I think that's the problem with a lot of average players, is they don't understand what the decision making comes down. It comes down to, should I push? Should I throw something? Or should I run? Now, the best thing about lights, in my opinion, is that they have the sonar and they have grenades. And most classes have grenades, right? But the great thing about the light is that they have the sonar, so not only can they check to see how many enemies are around your teammate, or if they're pushing, or if they're dead, you know, like any of that around their statue, but you can actually go and throw nades to right where they are if they're low, right? If your teammate is on comms or they type something like, oh, they're low, you can throw a nade right where they are. Also, when you throw a sonar and somebody's low on the enemy team, usually they start running away because they don't want to be found and they're being seen, right? This is just common sense. This is how the game works. So like, that's just me playing light, because obviously I've been trying to play light more, but I've been realizing it's really hard unless you're sweating like crazy. And I do agree. Light is a very broken class. It's always been a broken class. For the beginner players, it probably seems like light is the strongest class in the game, but it's not. It is 100% not. It is. I think it's tied for heavy, in my opinion, in terms of survivability. But in terms of damage, I would say the light is definitely above the heavy, because the heavy has just they've nerfed the heavy so much. The Deagles are pretty much the only fucking weapon you can use with, or I don't know, the M60, the Lewis, and the Deagles. Which, I mean, you know, it sounds like a lot, but to be honest, that's like what, a third of the weapons in that class, right? Here, before I sound like a dumbass, right? Yeah, so it's literally a third of the weapons in the heavy class that are just like people stop really using because they're not meta anymore. I see the hammer sometimes. I rarely see the SA-12-16 anymore, which is like, they had it at a perfect spot last season, but now it's to the point where why the fuck would you play the shotgun, right? The Deagles are much better. Yeah, from medium, again, it's the meta class right now. Model plus pike, 2 pikes in a model, or maybe a pike, a model, and a heavy. Like, it's just the meta right now. No if, buts, or what's about it. All they did was nerf the headshot damage with the pike, which is kind of crazy. But you know, it was good, because if they didn't have that, then it would suck. We are seeing the FCARs and the the FAMAS. So it's FAMAS, pike, and model. Those are the 3, I would say, best weapons for the medium right now. I would say that the FCAR, the AK, and the R30 357 are pretty close. The CL40 was good. They again nerfed it to be mediocre. I feel like all they had to do was increase the self damage, because the most of the people who were complaining about this weapon being broken were melee lights, because mediums have enough health to tank both shots to kill you before you get to them. And I think that was the biggest problem. So honestly, I would have been fine if they kept the damage of this, but they should have made the self damage pretty much one shot a medium. So if they end up killing you, they end up killing themselves too, so long as you're right next to them, right? I feel like that would have been a better balance in my opinion, but hey, keep nerfing things to the ground, Embark. That's fine. You know, keep killing opportunities and like different scenarios for people to play the game. Keep doing that. For the lights, I mean, M11 has pretty much what I've been using. SH1900 is still very meta as well. And I will say that the pistols have been doing pretty good work, in my opinion. The V9S, XP54 is still pretty solid. I mean, it's just, you pretty much just trade the difference between the M11 and the XP54. The TTK is pretty much the same. I would say the M11 is sometimes a little bit faster, depending on if you land every shot. If you don't land every shot, then good luck. So you have to at least be good with the M11, or at least be close enough so that you can land every shot, right? But yeah, the problem is that the lights just die too fast for the average player base. And then when you're facing against really good lights who know how to stay alive, it seems like they're the best class in the game, right? So I think Embark needs to understand they don't fucking know what ranking system is. They don't. You cannot literally tell me a single person at Embark knows what a ranking system is, because people are not facing, like, newer players are not facing newer players, or average players aren't facing average players. No. You will sometimes get a lobby with one team that literally just dominates everybody. And I don't understand how that can be considered skill-based matchmaking, or how that can be considered fair matchmaking, or even ranked matchmaking. Like, I understand that some people are in lower ranks and they're just absolutely cracked and they just don't play the game enough to be at higher ranks. But there's a certain point where I'll be playing a game and I was fighting emeralds and I was like gold in World Tour. It doesn't make sense to me. Why would you pair up emeralds against golds? How does that? How is that a fucking ranking? There's a whole ass 2 ranks in between them. So you're telling me that the ranking system, you don't care about it, right? And I've said this multiple times in all of my videos. Embark needs to make an actual fucking ranking system. If you are in a rank, you only face people in that rank. That's how a fucking rank works. It's like the people there haven't even studied English. Like, look up the fucking definition of a rank. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, and I will say that in terms of having fun in the game, World Tour is probably the least fun game mode right now in the game, other than Terminal Attack. Of course, that's just the finals bias, player-based bias. I would say, because I kind of enjoy Terminal Attack to some extent. Some people do as well, but the majority of the final place just finds it as not needed in this game, and I disagree. I think it's fun. I think it's still a good thing to add to the game. But yes, it's probably one of the worst game modes because it's very sweaty. That being said, though, World Tour and Ranked Tournaments are pretty much... People are quitting World Tour and Ranked Tournaments because of how ridiculous the meta is right now with the mediums. And yeah, I will say that pretty much, if I go light, I will face 3 other teams with triple medium for most of the part. I rarely see people going light or heavy as much as the other. Why the heck is DoorDash calling me? What the fuck? I'm sorry. What? I instantly hung up. There ain't no way I'm answering that. Okay. So, yeah, I will say Quick Cash is very fun as a light. As any class, Quick Cash is very fun, but it's definitely better as light because you can just annihilate people. I mean, it's pretty much just what you face in World Tour and Ranked Tournament. Am I right, people? You always get the third party on you. So this is literally just you practicing to face the third party. It is hilarious how fucking insane that this game mode pretty much makes you realize that it's just it's just showing you what the first 3 rounds are like, or first 2 rounds are in both World Tour and Ranked Tournament. It is just hilarious. But I will say, for Quick Cash, I've been having a lot more fun playing Quick Cash. Alright, now I do have somebody commenting on one of my videos asking, got any tips on grinding World Tour? Because I get really frustrated many times and don't feel like playing when I can't find friends to play with. So what is your approach to these moments when it's your team that is holding you back? Unfortunately, my brother Raiden MGR5157, it is very difficult. It was very difficult to push for Emerald 2 or for Emerald 1. So I will tell you this, right? You need to find people online. Now, all of these people online, I just play with them whenever, right? Mech helped me get to Emerald, Chinfu helped me get to Emerald, Mick, Virtual Warrior, like, just, if you have a good game, like, even if you're not winning, like, your team is just getting wiped, right? As long as your team is, like, communicating and you're playing around each other, add them. Because it means that at least you have people who are trying to learn the game, who are trying to play the game, and who are at least able to play as a team. You may not win every single game, you may not win every single round. That's fine. Just try and win that first round. As long as you win that first round, as long as you win those second rounds, you don't have to win the final round. You will be able to grind towards that. For getting to Emerald, though, because you did ask me for grinding World Tour in general, you didn't specifically say Emerald. For getting to Emerald, you kind of need a team. And in order for me to get to Emerald, I pretty much just sticked with my friend Mr. Yannick on the finals. And, well, because we both went for Emerald, right? So we pretty much stuck. Towards the end, our schedule started conflicting a little bit, so we played by ourselves. But we were in Emerald 1 at that point, and Emerald 2, and everybody in Emerald 2 was trying to get Emerald 1 anyway. So, yeah. They did change it to 63, but it's just, yeah. It's just, there's a lot. Okay. I mean, that's like the best I can give you for grinding for World Tour as an average player. you kind of just have to friend who you think or who you understand is like. Once you have a fundamental understanding of the game, you will understand how other people play the game when you see them play, and you'll understand, oh, okay, that person is actually good. We just need to stick together a little bit more, communicate a little bit more, be a little bit more teamwork play, right? Maybe flank, strafe, you know, all of that good stuff. I will say this. Emerald is going to be very hard unless you have at least one other person to help you. Because getting that emerald is going to be almost impossible. You need to win the tournament. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem with this game, right? Getting to the tournament requires you to not only be good, skilled, and competitive at the game, but it also requires you to have a ridiculous amount of knowledge. Because you start learning the spawns. It's like I didn't even study the spawns, but it's gotten to the point where I already know where people are going to spawn because I can just remember, like, oh, last time I wasn't looking in that direction and I got absolutely bleeped in the ass, you know? Like I just instantly died. So it comes down to your teammates, obviously. So long as you're trying to grind World Tour, I will say this. Go for the meta pick. You may not have fun, but it's going to get you the wins. Right now it's medium with one shotgun, maybe 2 pikes, something like that. Maybe a heavy. So yeah, if you're good at heavy, play heavy. And you will probably have medium teammates because that's what people are running otherwise. Light is still fun to play in my opinion. You can still make it work, but I don't know. I've been feeling like every time I play light, there's always 2 people, maybe not even from the same team, targeting me. Like there's one person from purple and then one person from pink targeting me. Just because they know I'm going to fuck them up if they don't kill me, so they got to take me out first. So it always goes down to me like trying to kill one person and then another person instantly shooting me as soon as I target one person. So you always got to watch your 6, make sure that your back is covered as a light, and I feel like you can still grind World Tour. Sonar is definitely a given. If you don't have Sonar as a light, you're doing something wrong. I'm sorry. Well, actually, that's not true. But if you're trying to be competitive with a team as a light and not just trying to do for the solo plays as a light, the Sonar helps your team a lot, especially when you're flanking and pushing, because you go after one person, they go after the other ones. And the enemy team is kind of panicking because they're like, oh, we're seen, we got to make sure that we're protected. But then one of them just dies from behind from me, and then one of my teammates goes after the other ones while they're focused trying to kill me while I'm escaping, right? So, again, if you're trying to grind World Tour, it's really hard right now unless you're going medium. So my advice: go medium, bring the heal beam, bring a pike or a shotgun. If you're not good at those weapons, bring any other weapon. It really doesn't matter, honestly. Even the I've seen the FCAR and the AK enough to realize the medium is just a really solid class, and so long as you can avoid enough damage to survive, you can deal enough damage to pretty much kill and wipe teams pretty easily. That's why the heal beam is so broken, because you just heal each other, right? So you don't even have to care about mitigating damage, because it takes away the skill of aiming and strafing and counter strafing, just so that you can enjoy the game better, I guess, for average players, which is fine, you know? That's how the game should be. So yeah, right now for average players, I will say World Tour, ranked tournaments, an absolute fucking nightmare. Especially if you're not playing medium. It is just, and you don't have good teammates, it is just a nightmare. My advice is when you find yourself in those matches, just you know, just try and have fun. Don't even care about like what your teammates are doing. You know, if you find some stupid moments, record it. That would be hilarious. But yeah, that's my advice for all of you guys playing World Tour. It has been, like, I've been grinding, and it is just absolute hell for me right now because I'm trying to do light, and like I said, I just keep being targeted by 2 teams because after they realize that I can kill them like pretty much before they deal half my health, since I'm pretty good at positioning with the M11 and the light. So once they figure that out, I just get targeted, and it is absolute hell. But I'm able to make it work, and I'm almost to Diamond 1. I'm not there yet. It's been a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. And also, I was sick yesterday, even when I recorded when I was trying to do the Crimson Water Celestial Anomaly thingy for this light. I've only been posting these 2 games, I feel like. Wait. Have I only been posting these 2 games? Yeah, I did this light, but wow. I mean, these are the 2 games that are taking most of my time, right? This light takes so much grinding to fucking go through. And it's not even to collect rewards half of the time. It's just to get to the point where you can start collecting rewards. And this game is just a grind fest. I mean, all FPSs are. Whether you're going for skins or whether you're going for ranks, right? So that doesn't matter. So yeah, I do apologize that I haven't been posting a lot of other games, but that's just I've just been very busy with these 2 games, especially this fucking game. Like, it's just been taking a lot of my time trying to figure out how to play light again. Since it took me a while to get like playing the different classes, I have to get really in the zone in order for me to like really play it. So yeah. Anyway, if you're going to grind World Tour, try and find yourself at least one other person that can play when you're playing, and you have mic or some form of communication. Discord works as well, so that you can at least communicate with them. In-game mic would be better in my opinion, so that you can at least have other people to talk to if they have their mic as well. Then it will make it much easier. If you're trying to get to the Emerald 1, that's the only possible way. If you're just trying to grind World Tour 2 Diamond, yeah, it's not that hard. You just gotta win the first round and then you get a couple of points, and it is very frustrating though. Yeah, you can't really do much. I will make this the final note. You can't really do much if your team's mates are just not playing the game properly. You just gotta understand, some people are new to this game. This game is still pretty unique in its gameplay and how you play the game. I feel like a lot of people come from like Call of Duty, X Defiant, or like Val or Overwatch. They play this game and they're like, well, this is completely fucking different. It is. It is like if you mix Call of Duty, X Defiant, and Overwatch together. The TTK is really fast, but you gotta have to do that team play where you're all together in sort of like the same place. But it's still really fast. And the decision making is also really fast. Like, do I throw this nade where he's at, duck, and then come back out and try and kill him? Or do I dash forward and spin around him and kill him? Like, there's a lot of different things to do because you don't know if there's another person there, or there may be someone on the roof watching over him. Like, you don't know. But there is decisions that you make. There's looking around. So yeah, I will say the game is fun if you don't let these things get to you. Bad teammates, bad coordination, and double teaming / third partying / fourth partying, because it's literally apparent in the game. It is going to always be there. Once you get used to them, I know it's frustrating. It took me fucking 4 or 5. No, it took me 6. It took me the entirety of me playing this game. Like, I will say, once season 4 like once I was done with the Emerald grind, I realized my expectations for the game were a little bit too high. You gotta understand, there are some things that are gonna annoy you. You just gotta ignore them. It takes a lot of brain power, but once you do, you will have a much better time, trust me. Anyway, thank you all for watching as always. I'm sorry for no gameplay. I'm gonna get to Diamond 1 before I do that, and then I will get to Emerald. And we'll have about a month left, hopefully, so that I can get to Ruby, because Emerald is not rank based, and that's why I wanted to do Emerald first, because once I get Emerald 1, I can just call it a day, right? I don't have to keep fighting for that 500th place. Of course, it seems like it's going to be hell to get to 500th place, but the good thing is that towards the end of the season, there's going to be a lot of other people pushing that are not complete sweats, because they have been waiting for all the sweats to get to their, top 100 or 250 spots. Obviously, the top 500 are going to be sweats. I'm sweaty. I don't disagree with that. But yeah, that's just how it goes. Anyway, thank you all for watching as always. AOG Gaming here. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. Really shows your support. Helps me out. Keeps you updated my content. 230 subscribers this time I checked. Y'all are amazing. Keep going. Yeah. The game is fun, but it gets a little bit boring when I have to just switch to a medium with a shotgun or a pike, because there's a triple medium teams in the lobby, and I know that I'm just gonna have a miserable time dealing with glitch mines and everything, and getting one-tapped by shotguns. So yeah, again, follow the meta. Embark doesn't know how to balance, so if you think you're going to be facing people of the same rank as you, you're mistaken. You can be a bronze and facing emerald. That's just how the fucking game works. I don't know why. You know, if you're going to have ranks, like if you were going to give out the skins and make the ranks not even matter other than the grind, then you should have just had the skins as the grind part and then the rank just be based on how many games you played or something. Because at that point, it's like, what's the point of having ranks, right? So yeah, Embark, there's a lot of stuff you need to fix to make the game a lot more better for the average player. But I will say, once the average player becomes a consistent player, I will say, they will learn how to play the game, and you can actually have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, thank you all for watching as always, and I'll see everybody in the next video.